What's up, guys? Raymond back again, coming to you from MRB Classic Pro Shop. A little controversy in the air spinning around on Flow Bowling and some of the other places where Sean Rash made a comment about urethane. Says it should be banned from the PBA. Do you agree with this, or do you not? That's a pretty controversial subject because everybody has their own beliefs, but I'm going to kind of try to explain a little bit as to why Sean thinks the way he does. And I could be wrong, but I've talked to him a few times, talked to him a little bit, and I think I understand where he's coming from, and we'll dive into the controversy here in a minute, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back, guys. So the big controversy surrounding the internet. Sean Rash got onto the PBA show at the end of it, was interviewed, and said he thought that the urethane bowling balls should be banned. That urethane balls are almost used like a crutch. You know, some of the guys who, and gals maybe even, who they start seeing a little bit flatter pattern, the easiest way to control your ball reaction and to be able to just hit up on the ball as much as you want and continue to use a strong ball. A lot of guys don't like shutting their angles down because they know later in the block they're going to have to keep them open. So what they do is they just try to grab a ball that can let them create those same angles and then just ball up and go to resin as they go left and get away from where they were. Now, the problem with urethane is that actually it carries oil. This doesn't absorb oil like any other bowling ball does. Any other resin balls are very porous and they absorb the oil. So they don't move it down the lane nearly as fast as what something like this does. So when this ball hits the lane, it picks up that oil. Unless you're wiping the ball off, that oil keeps building up on the ball and it continues to go down lane. So it continues to change the lane. It's taking the oil from the front at a faster rate because these get beat up at a very high surface or a very low number surface. So they beat them up, they take them to 500 or even 360 at times to get them to start up in the front and really shape around the back part of the lane. And that takes the oil from the front and moves it down lane because they don't absorb the oil. So now people who are using resin in those same areas, eventually their ball just starts to basically go straight because it's using up energy in the front where these took the oil out, and then it's never got a chance to hook down lane because now there's even added oil at the back part of the lane. So the problem comes into, they change the lane a lot. And then the second problem comes in, guys aren't using it because it's the greatest option. They're using it to stay out of trouble. They're using it and it ends up basically, I guess you'd say, destroying the pattern or changing the pattern too fast. When I need something like that, this is my 2-inch Eruption Pro Blue, solid bowling ball. So when I see the lanes being super tough, I go to something like this. The only time I'll really ever go to urethane is when I see everybody else using urethane. Because then it makes this ball not hook down lane, because this won't hook quite as early as this, and it won't create the shape exactly like this. It'll be similar, but it's not going to be the exact same thing. But if everybody was using this, you wouldn't see the change in the lanes. You'd see people staying right further, longer. On the short patterns, I don't think anybody has a problem with people using urethane on short patterns. It's when you get on those longer, flatter patterns, the 40, 41, 42 foot patterns that are flat, people kind of, they start to say, I don't know that you need to use urethane. I understand you're using it to try to control the lane, keep everything in front of you. Really, you could be doing that with other bowling balls. So I don't know that banning urethane is necessarily the right thing to do, but it would be cool to start seeing league bowlers or some of the amateur bowlers kind of get away from using so much urethane and going to stuff like this when they see their ball hook too much. When you see more hook, why not go to a weaker symmetrical ball with a short pin layout that'll allow you to stay straighter and do what you want to do with it there. So I don't know, that's just my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think urethane should be banned? Or do you think urethane is just a crutch? Or do you think urethane is a good tool? Now, I'll say my opinion. I think it's a good tool if you use it in the right times. I do get a little irritated when I see a longer pattern and the first ball out of somebody's bag is the urethane ball just because they want to see if it works. At the end of the day, it's still about making the right shot, making the right ball choice, and doing the right thing. So anyway, that's all I got. Subscribe, like, share, do all that good stuff. Let's get a little conversation going. But until next time, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you later. Take care.